Today we have a question, what is the opposite of life? And most of you are already thinking the answer is death. If you ask me, it's not. Although I've written about it on my blog and I've tweeted about it earlier and all, but uh, people are like whoever have read this earlier, they still have some doubt. So here's my theory. The opposite of life can't be death because life is in a continuum. Death is absolute. So to to say that one moment is the exact opposite of other moment is kind of weird, kind of not balanced, because you're born wherever you're born, because you're not born uh, just on your birthday, right? You're born maybe 9 months before that in the womb, or maybe much before that. Like what, I don't know. I we can't get into the metaphysics or even the you know cosmic philosophies behind it. But the interesting bit is uh, we really don't know. If you tell me you were born in 1986, so the follow-up question would be, where were you before that? So based on these little theories, it's kind of an incomplete answer when you say death is the opposite of life, because there is so many continuums in between that it's very difficult to put timeline on it. So here's my answer. The opposite of life is life sentence, because uh, you're constantly going through it on a daily basis, knowing very well that there is death waiting for you at the end, at least in this world. So when you stop thinking of death in that manner, you start realizing that life is so interesting, life is so marvelous, to use a very poetic word, that every day you're going through it. Now it's up to you whether you turn that life sentence into something wonderful by doing, awesome things with your time, with your limited time on this planet, or you can just keep on marinating in your own sadness, grief, and kind of pulling yourself down. It's up to you. But uh, to suggest that death is the opposite of life is kind of demeaning ourselves. It's like giving too much importance to one event, which is not going to preclude anyone. Every living entity has to die, right? So I feel that maybe the focus could be on this continuum in between rather than on that absolute thing that is going to happen at the very end. It should be on this middle ground, right? So obviously, life sentence, the word itself that I've chosen is kind of negative, but it's up to us what we do with our time. Like look at me right now. I'm sitting in my study and there are two windows here and birds are chirping outside. To me, those birds are free, but to those birds, I put myself inside a cage. So in some ways, I am going through my life sentence, right? So it's completely up to you and me and all of us how we spend our time. Uh, instead of thinking that, instead of being existential, instead of being very dark about it, that we are going to die anyway. Because we are going to die anyway. The point is, what are we going to do with our life? How meaningful, how purposeful are we going to do, you know, with whatever we have, right? And it's completely an individual's choice. So this is something that I think I didn't explain well in my blog either, and readers have written back to me saying that there are doubts. So I thought like anyway, I don't do much on YouTube, so I thought like, okay, this can be a good topic to talk about life and death when the actual protagonist is not even death. It's basically life repeating itself again and again and again until a point where it is nowhere to be seen. And that moment is like the tada moment of life, right? So there's no point giving too much importance to death.